The appeal of selling internationally is that you have a consumer base today that as opposed to a decade ago or 2 decades ago has so much more access to information, much more purchasing power, much more, the tastes are different, and that creates new opportunity to create localized product that really reflects that market. It also creates operational challenge. You no longer are producing as much a global assortment that if it sells well in the US, it will likely sell well in Asia and in Western Europe. There's just a much higher degree of particularity and specialization to the tastes and trends that each market exhibits and shifts towards. And I think that's it's a huge opportunity. And it's a huge challenge. Your operational complexity goes up. The difficulty that you have to think through how your teams stay coordinated, how you really research and understand your consumer, how the stress that you put on the various supply chain layers of your business to be able to execute against a much more diverse product assortment. Those are all challenges. I mean, in an ideal world, you'd create if you had a crystal ball, you would create the product for every individual in every market that you think was best suited to fit their tastes and their buying patterns. The reality of actually executing a business with that much uniqueness is almost impossible. So the easiest business to run is a business in which you have a single product assortment or line that sells the same way in every market. That is, in today's global economy and in today's market where consumers are super empowered to be influenced by sources that are very market unique, that uniformity of appeal just doesn't exist. And so, creating these assortments that speak to markets, but also have a common thread of representing the brand identity, and being something that you can serve at scale is finding that sweet spot is what every brand's trying to do. The reality is that there are not only communities within Europe, but communities within countries within Europe that see the world, see trends, see color, see pattern, see print in wildly different ways, and that uniqueness of opinion is part of what makes Europe such a multicultural and exciting place to visit or to taste their food and so I think food is a good analogy. You don't go to Europe and have one type of food, and so why would you expect that you go to Europe and have one style or one fabric choice that is preferred? It's really you have a melting pot of different cultures and different identities and different heritages, and fashion and footwear and accessories should really reflect that. There's a tactical or operational level, and then a more conceptual and philosophical level. At the tactical level, we are now able to allow brands at scale to communicate with thousands of relevant customers in very localized markets in a language and a tone that is really reflective of that local culture. I mean, something that I struggled with in a past retail life is the way that you ask a question or the way that you interpret data is going to vary wildly amongst different countries. A strong yes in one country can mean something totally different in another country, and we've spent real time and real effort and real methodology to understand that localization, both in terms of language and research methodology, which is exciting. On a more conceptual level, just the idea of being able to take in information at scale, to be able to interpret it, to be able to act on it in a way that is both authentic and time efficient, that's something that is a real challenge, and again, something that we have spent a ton of attention and effort to really make a core capability of our platform.